Ever feel like your kid turns into a tiny, screaming banshee, seemingly at random? Like they're operating on a completely different operating system, one that runs entirely on pure, unadulterated noise and the occasional road sock? You're not alone. In fact, if you haven't felt that way, congratulations, you've unlocked the mythical parenting nirvana achievement. Please tell us your secrets in the comments, and then maybe run for president. But what if those meltdowns, those sudden shutdowns, that inexplicable fear of the vacuum cleaner? Seriously, what's that about? What if it's not just being a toddler? What if there's something else going on? Today, we're diving headfirst into the fascinating and often overwhelming world of sensory overload in kids. We're going to decode why some kids seem more porous to the world around them, why our insanely stimulating modern world can feel like a full-on sensory assault, and most importantly, what you, dear parent, can actually do about it. Trust me, understanding this is like unlocking a secret parenting cheat code, minus the actual cheating, because we're all about ethical parenting here. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know 1. What exactly sensory overload is. 2. Why this matters, because understanding this can seriously reduce your stress levels and maybe prevent that 3 p.m. grocery store meltdown that makes you question all your life choices. 3. The telltale signs that your child might be experiencing sensory overload beyond the usual toddler drama. And 4. Actionable, research-backed strategies to create a more sensory-friendly environment and help your child and yourself navigate this wild world. Now, picture this. Your kid walks into a room and it's like they've suddenly developed the sensory equivalent of a superpower, except instead of flying, they're just overwhelmed. Psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron calls this sensory processing sensitivity, SPS. And it's like some kids have a more porous filter for the world. About 15 to 20% of the population are thought to be wired this way. Think of it like they're noticing all the tiny details that the rest of us might just blur out. These highly sensitive kiddos process information deeply. They notice the tag in their shirt that feels like sandpaper the size of Texas, the flickering fluorescent light that's giving them an instant headache. And honestly, who doesn't hate those? Or the subtle shift in your tone that tells them something's up before you even realize it yourself. They're like tiny, adorable detectives of the sensory world, which is great, except when their deep processing leads to them being, shall we say, enthusiastically overstimulated. Imagine trying to listen to 10 different conversations at once while simultaneously trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. That's kind of what it can feel like for them. And let's be honest, the modern world, it's basically a sensory assault course designed by a committee of mischievous gremlins. We got screens flashing at us from every direction, urban environments buzzing with the symphony of honking cars and construction, a consumer culture practically screaming, "Buy me," at our kids from every shelf. Even something as seemingly innocuous as a fast-paced schedule can push their little systems over the edge. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm experiencing sensory overload just trying to keep up with the latest TikTok trends. And I'm supposedly mostly a grown-up. So what happens when all this input becomes too much? Well, their brains, bless their little cotton socks, interpret it not as information to be processed, but as a threat. Cue the dramatic music. This triggers their primal flight or fight response. Think caveman days, but instead of a saber-toothed tiger, it's the tag in their shirt or the overly enthusiastic birthday singing. On the flight side, you might see them trying to avoid the sensory input. That kid who insists on wiping their hands every 5 seconds? Tactile overload. The one who covers their ears at the slightest loud noise? Auditory overload. The Houdini of hugs? Possibly tactile or proprioceptive overload. And don't even get me started on the culinary acrobatics some kids perform to avoid certain food textures. That's taste overload in its purest, most dramatic form. Then you've got to fight response, which often looks less like actual fisticuffs and more like irritability, fussiness, or the dreaded meltdown. We're talking full-blown, Oscar-worthy performances of distress. Crying, screaming, hitting, the whole shebang. It's their little way of saying, "My sensory circuits are fried, please reboot." It's like their internal volume knob got stuck on 11, and the remote control is nowhere to be found. Now, you might be thinking, are we just seeing more of this now? Or are more kids actually experiencing sensory overload? It's a valid question, and honestly, the answer is probably a bit of both. We're definitely more aware of sensory processing sensitivity these days, which means we're better at recognizing the signs. But the world is also getting louder, literally and figuratively. Think about it. Constant digital stimulation, urban noise pollution, the sheer volume of stuff in our consumer culture, and those packed schedules that leave everyone feeling like they're running a marathon in flip-flops. It's a lot for a developing nervous system to handle. especially one that's already wired to be more sensitive. It's like we turn the dial on the sensory world up to 11, and some kids are trying to find a mute button. You might have also noticed the parallel to the increasing rates of ADHD diagnoses. Now, SBS and ADHD are not the same thing. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder, while SBS is a personality trait. But there could be some overlap in symptoms, like difficulty concentrating or restlessness. For some kids with ADHD, a super stimulating environment can actually make their inattentive symptoms worse. It's like trying to focus on a single raindrop during a monsoon. It's crucial to get a proper assessment if you have concerns, but understanding your child's sensory sensitivities can be incredibly helpful, regardless of any other diagnoses. Okay, so what can we actually do to help our more porous little humans navigate this sensory obstacle course we call modern life? Fear not, parents, because there are actually some really practical strategies you can implement. First up, create sensory-friendly environments. Think of it as building them a little sensory sanctuary. This could be a quiet corner in their room with soft blankets and pillows, a designated calm-down zone where they can retreat when they feel overwhelmed. Reduce clutter, dim the lights, and maybe even invest in some of those magical blackout curtains. Trust me, they're not just for vampires. Next, manage sensory input. Be mindful of the level of stimulation in different situations. If you're heading to a loud event, pack some noise-canceling headphones. Sunglasses can be a lifesaver in bright sunlight. And maybe skip the perfume aisle at the department store. Your sensitive kiddo will thank you. Think of yourself as their personal sensory bodyguard. Establish predictable routines. Predictability is like a security blanket for sensitive kids. Knowing what to expect can significantly reduce anxiety related to unexpected sensory experiences. A consistent bedtime routine, for example, can make a world of difference. Allow for downtime. In our go-go-go world, it's easy to overschedule our kids. But sensitive children especially need unstructured time to just relax and decompress. Think of it as giving their sensory systems a chance to hit the reset button. This is where I usually fail spectacularly, as my downtime often involves scrolling through social media until my brain feels like scrambled eggs. But for the kids, it's crucial. Teach coping strategies. Help your child identify their sensory triggers and develop ways to manage overload. This could be deep breathing exercises, a special fidget toy, or simply knowing they can take a break in their quiet space. Empower them to advocate for their own needs. Communicate and validate. Talk to your child about their sensory experiences and let them know it's okay to be sensitive. Validate their feelings. Saying things like, "I understand that loud music can feel overwhelming," can make a huge difference. Collaborate with educators. Talk to your child's teachers about their sensory sensitivities. They might be able to make adjustments in the classroom, like preferential seating or allowing the use of fidget tools. And finally, seek professional guidance. If you have significant concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to an occupational therapist or other qualified professional. They can provide a comprehensive assessment and personalized recommendations. So there you have it. Understanding sensory overload is a game changer for parenting our wonderfully unique and sometimes wonderfully overwhelmed kids. Remember, you're not alone in this. Many parents are navigating these same challenges. So, tell me in the comments below, what other parenting puzzles are keeping you up at night? What topics would you love for us to tackle next? Your questions fuel our future videos, and we're here to support you every step of the way. And speaking of support, have you ever wondered if you're truly disciplining your child in a way that fosters growth and understanding, or if you're accidentally resorting to punishment that might be doing more harm than good? It's a question that weighs heavily on many of our hearts. Well, in our next video, we're unlocking the secrets to discipline versus punishment. The surprising truth every parent needs to know. Imagine understanding the subtle but crucial differences that can transform your interactions with your child, leading to less power struggles and more cooperation. We'll reveal the research-backed approaches that build connection and teach valuable life lessons, so you can finally feel confident in guiding your child's behavior without sacrificing relationship. Ready to ditch the guilt and frustration and step into a more empowered and connected parenting experience? Then make sure you watch our next video on discipline versus punishment. Trust me, this is the transformation you've been searching for. And of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our weekly dose of sanity-saving parenting insights. We're all in this together, and your support helps us create more content just for you. Keep being the amazing parents you are. You got this, and we'll see you in the next video.